Hello, and welcome back. This week, as we did last week, we're going to be focusing specifically on major earnings. We're not going to be doing recaps. We're going to be doing look aheads. The reason being is because at this point in time, earnings season is in full swing. It only happens 4 times a year. This is really where traders capitalize the most. There's a lot of catalysts that are moving stocks. Volatility is heightened. We're not really looking more at the macro in terms of indices. We're looking very micro and granular as we're looking at individual companies, because individual companies are what's moving. I'm cherry picking the ones that I feel are the most important. Some of you may agree, some of you may not agree. That's okay. That's what makes a market. And we're going to be focusing on companies that are, in my opinion, very important to the US economy, that are important to the market as a whole, and on a global basis are also extremely important. Let's just get right into it. Okay, we're going to start with Whirlpool. I know you're saying, Whirlpool, why? Simple. When it comes to tariffs and the effects of tariffs and the effects of what's happened in the quarter, as well as moving forward. Now, I want to put a disclaimer. Before I started this, there was a headline that came out that the US reached a deal with the EU for tariffs. There are still effects. So Whirlpool will be able to tell us right away what's kind of going on in that regard. Um, Obviously, you have to remember, just because tariffs or any type of economic data that comes out, it's not like a flip of a switch and all of a sudden everything is beautiful or everything is disastrous. Things take time to cycle through. So Whirlpool will give us some insights into what's going on with orders, what's going on with inventory. What are they seeing from the US consumer? Technically, the stock is, I wouldn't say it's amazing and gorgeous, but there could be movement here. When there's earnings, these things really start to move. Another one that's reporting Monday after the close is a company called Waste Management. It's a good company, great company, actually. They're the leader in what they do. A nice rounded bottom over here. Looks like the stock was popping out. You did have a igniting bar on Thursday. Friday was a little bit more of an inside day, but you do have this igniting bar. Potentially sets it up to get up to this 235, 240 area is where it's probably going to go on earnings if the numbers are great. If they're not, and you're looking at the 200-day, but right now, for Waste Management as well as for Whirlpool, both of these companies together, there is room on the upside for these things to go if they have good numbers. That's Monday after the bell. Let's go Tuesday. So Tuesday we get UPS before the bell. They'll be reporting in terms of what they're seeing in terms of shipping, but they'll be discussing more shipping and how they're seeing shipping volumes. So that's going to be important. It'll be an economic barometer as opposed to a company barometer, because if people are doing a lot of shipping, then more goods are moving around the country, well, then things are looking better. Boeing reports before the bell. Now, Boeing just had some big orders coming out. The problem with Boeing, and you're going to see this as a recurring theme as we get more into during the week, a lot of these stocks have had big runs, like ginormous runs from the April lows, like massive runs. That's why you had muted responses in both Google and Netflix, and those numbers were good numbers. There was nothing bad in those numbers, yet the stocks pulled back. We'll get into that at the end, but a lot of it is you have to manage your expectations, because a lot of these things have moved up really, really far, and they've moved really, really fast. Now, that doesn't mean short everything. That's not what it means. It just means responses could be very, very muted. I'm not even going over market maker moves this time, because again, a lot of these companies have moved really, really far, really, really fast. I would say the most important company that's going to report before the bell it's probably the most anticipated earnings of the week is United Health. This company, you can see the chart. If you want to know exactly what's going on, I encourage you to do the research. They've had a whole slew of problems. CEO change. This company really, to a large extent, can't get out of its own way. This is going to be one of those earnings that people are going to be watching. They're going to be paying attention to not just the numbers, because the numbers are the numbers. They're really going to be looking at the guidance. The guidance is really going to be important on this. You have a couple of financials that are reporting. We're not going to go over it, but you have SoFi and PayPal. We'll look at PayPal quickly. They're reporting before the bell. It's setting yourself out for an island reversal if the numbers aren't good. If it hangs out, there's potential it can happen. Okay. Let's just get into Tuesday after the bell. Visa is going to be number one that I'm going to be watching for. Visa will let us know specifically how the consumer is doing. So whatever Visa says, almost like the Google Meta sympathy play, you should expect the same type of reaction, the same type of movement in MasterCard. So we're going to see how that business is doing regarding swipes, how they see the consumer, where they're seeing things. Okay, another one that's going to be reporting is Starbucks. I'm not so excited about. I don't think there's anything special here. Maybe it'll move around. There's not much I could say about this. It's really a choppy, sloppy mess. I wouldn't waste time here. I think Visa is probably a better one. Another one that's actually interesting for Tuesday night is Booking. I know it's an expensive stock. It's a $5,600 stock. I understand that. Don't look at it from the stock perspective. Look at it from more, where are they seeing things in travel and leisure? They are number one. So where do they see it? That's really your read through. And that will play into how you look at airlines, how you look at um, car rental companies, how you look at hotels, the whole entire travel and leisure space. They're going to give us that insight on how the US consumer is doing. Okay. Now we're going to get into Wednesday. Now, Wednesday is when the fireworks start to happen, specifically in high beta tech. So we're just going to start with the first one. Meta. Again, sympathy play almost had the exact same move as Google after Google reported, which makes sense. I'm expecting the same exact discussion, not necessarily, obviously not the same numbers, but the same type of guidance, the same type of analysis that Google had. So I don't expect anything to be different there. Could the stock pop? Yeah, the stock definitely could pop, as it's definitely looking a little bit better. One thing to keep in mind, and we had this with Google, just because it pops doesn't mean the next day it's going to start rip roaring to the upside. You could just pull back in. I think the gap in Google, I think, was 1%, and it pretty much sold off all day long on earnings. Let's take a look at it. This was the earnings. It opened up all the way over here, and it sold off all day long, filled the gap, and then just nothing. I'm expecting somewhat the same type of action in Meta. Might go and try and take out the all-time high up here at let's just say 747. So let's avoid it. It may try and tag 750. We'll see. It has some coiling, so there is a little bit there. It looks like there might be some juice in this one. Microsoft is really, I'll be honest with you, if there's one stock to not touch on earnings, it's probably this one. If you look at this move, look how far this stock has gone from just the previous earnings season. Do you really believe in your heart of hearts that this thing is going to go rip roaring on earnings? Might not. This might actually sell off on earnings. Why? Because it's already priced for these things. It's priced for fantastic numbers. It's priced for them to knock it out of the park. So the stock could be down 5-8% on great numbers, even if the guidance is good, just because of the travel range. And look where it is from the April lows. It's been just straight up. So again, manage your expectations. That doesn't mean that they can't go. That's not what it means. It just means they've come very, very far in a very, very short amount of time. And Microsoft has been, on a weekly basis, my go-to. It's just pretty much the gift that keeps on giving. You can't get in this stock right now from a trend perspective. Okay. You'll have Hood also reporting after the bell. Again, same thing. Look at the travel ranges. Look what this has done. So don't be surprised if these things start selling off. Again, it's very important. I must reiterate this over and over again. It doesn't mean short it. That's not what it means. It just means that you might not get the earnings pops that you're anticipating, even if they knock it out of the park. A lot of these companies have them going. It's just been straight up on a lot of them. The one that's actually the interesting one of all of them reporting that I'm going to be focusing a lot more on is Carvana. And you're going to say, why Carvana of all companies? So interestingly enough, Carvana is very much a financial company to a certain extent. They do a lot of lending. They do a lot of lending in the subprime business. They do a lot of lending to lower quality credit. They do obviously a lot of lending in the used car market. I'm going to be watching to hear what they have to say, because forget about the technical aspect of it. I think that anything that they say that could be a negative to the consumer or negative to the auto lending business all could cream the stock. Now, the reason why I say that is I put out a thing last week that if you look at Cox Automotive, you can see that the delinquency numbers in the auto sector are going. It means people are falling behind 30, 60, 90 days on their car payments. And I'm very, very curious to hear what Carvana is saying about it. Okay. So that's something to watch with them. Another one is Qualcomm is going to be reporting. So this stock could go either direction. It's really could go either way. It's a nice base over here where it could break out of this consolidation and it could go. So that's something I would be watching also. Again, I'm going to attach how to play earnings in the end, so you can see some strategies on how you could do it. So that's something else to watch. Ford is going to be reporting. As much as it's a cheapie, I wouldn't really be focused on this. I think if you're looking at autos, Carvana is the way to go. They're really the one to see how things are playing out in the auto industry, specifically as it revolves to around credit. That'll be us for Wednesday. Thursday morning, we're going to get MasterCard. Again, whatever Visa says, you should expect the same thing from MasterCard. So like a sympathy play. So if Visa starts to move, you should expect that MasterCard's going to go the same way. You might be able to trade MasterCard earlier because of the Visa numbers. So that's another thing I'd be looking at. And then Thursday night, we get the two monsters. So we're going to start with Apple first. Now, I'm going to say this before I even start. The market has been moving to all-time highs consistently in spite of Apple. I know people don't want to hear that, but the market is going in spite of Apple. Apple has basically been up. The stock is doing nothing. Really, really nothing. If you look at Apple and you look at Microsoft, you can't even compare. This is Microsoft and this is Apple. So the market is going up despite Apple just being a dud. Apple usually has good number. I can't imagine that they're going to disappoint. You can play it either which way, a break of highs, a break of, let's say, 215, probably even 217, 216, probably sends it to probably up to here, about 225 roughly. I think any break probably could send it down to around here, around $200. So it's in a weird spot. I think there are better stocks to be in. I know it's weird to say that, but there's better stocks to be in than Apple. Amazon reports as well after the bell. Amazon will go first, then Apple. Usually Amazon reports right at the bell, so around 4 o'clock, 4:01 they release. Apple is usually around 4:30. So that's just something to keep in mind. Amazon's also had somewhat of a run. It's not as overextended, so there could be a room for this thing to go. But at the same time, just remember, a lot of moves could be muted just because we've had these major, massive runs. Another one that's going to be interesting that a lot of people are probably paying attention to is Roku. From what I understand and from what I've been reading, Roku has had a massive ramp up in advertising. There seems like there's a big spend there, so their revenue on the advertising side is picking up. I'd be paying attention to that one as well. Coinbase is pulling back nicely. I think if you can get the stock down by the 21, might be a place to start looking for it. I wouldn't get into it before earnings, obviously, because as we've discussed beforehand, you never take stock into binary events. That's a big fat no-no. But Coinbase could pull back before, and that would probably be a good, if it can pull back before earnings, then that'll give it some juice. You can capture a nice move on earnings. Friday, the last day of the week, is going to be the two big boys in energy. We're going to have Exxon and we're going to have Chevron. Those are the most important ones. So let's just look quickly at Exxon. Exxon, really, it's moving around with oil. It's pretty much in a choppy zone. It's not really doing anything. Chevron's been in the news recently. They both been in the news recently with some good news. Stocks aren't really doing anything. You could look at them, but they're not really amazing. They're probably better places to be. We do get Regen also on Friday morning. Again, look at this. If they have good news, then the stock could pop. But there's better places to be. I wouldn't really waste time here. Before we go, let's just quickly look at SPX. There's nothing really to discuss. We're moving with authority. We broke out of this 62, 85, 90 area. Now we're about 100 handles higher than this breakout area. The rest 75, 80 handles higher roughly. Is the market due for a pullback? Probably. The problem that you have right now is that volatility is pretty much in the toilet and margin is at record highs, which means at some point there's going to be some kind of retracement. So you got to be on your toes and you don't want to be the last one holding the bag and buying late. So know what you own, know why you're buying it, and be careful. Again, earnings season, things have a lot of juice to them, but at the same time, I'm just going to go back to this one last time. It's important. Just keep this picture in your mind. A lot of stocks have done this. So if you look out at Google, okay, Google had a big run. Google was really running heavy into earnings. So earnings were a dud. If you look at Netflix, okay, Netflix was running into earnings. Well, granted, it pulled back a little bit. However, Netflix is still, right now, is still up something like 32, 34% on the year. It's outpacing both the S&P and the NDX. So the stock is fine. It's a retracement. As if anything, you want this is actually a good thing because then it gives a chance for people to reload and then it'll continue its way up. They said nothing bad on their numbers. Their numbers were good. The call was good. The stock was moving up so far, so fast, it got hit. You look out at Google, same thing. Numbers were great, just like Netflix, good numbers. Stock was moving up with authority on earnings. There was some profit taking, people ringing the register. So just keep that in mind. Again, I'm going to post two videos on ways that you could approach earnings and how to approach it from both a technical and fundamental standpoint. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.